For the past 6 months, I have been working on a project on and off in secret while making these videos. I've been working on one of the biggest Minecraft projects that I quite possibly have ever done, and it's finally ready for public release. May I present to you Totality. This is a territorial game that I have been working on that is entirely made in Minecraft, with as few mods as possible to make it feel as vanilla as possible, only using Axiom to help build large islands, and Scribble for the rulebook to give it a little more love and care, E4MC to be able to easily play with your friends, and these other mods for general quality of life, along with helping the game to function. You may be wondering, Smelty, sure, you've told us what genre of game it is, but what actually is it? To that I say, Totality is a game originally designed and created by my good friend Rock Banjo. However, after getting bored of the project, due to his immense level of detail that I could come nowhere near to, he decided to give up on it. Me, being an early playtester of the game and really enjoying it, seeing it for how good it could become with more time put into it, I decided to ask if I could continue the project. And to my surprise, he was entirely happy with me continuing this project. So a big shout out to Rock Banjo for being the original creator of this game. Now that you have the backstory of the game, I can go over the whole process of how I built this game. So originally I started on Bedrock. With it being the version that the original was created, it seemed like the obvious choice, especially considering how easy it would be to play cross-platform. However, little did I know how wrong I would be, but more on that soon. So I started out with the theory crafting. Using what Rock Banjo had already come up with, I had a pretty solid framework to go off of. The game would be a territorial, with small candles being the standard for citizens, and having everything shrunk down to match that size. Having a large research tree that would span from the Stone Age all the way to what could possibly be millions of years into the future in technologies. Being able to build lots of different cool structures along the way. So with that, I set off on making the first island. After quite a while of building by hand, the first island was complete. Although quite small, it was at least a start. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, disaster struck. You see, Bedrock has this fun feature where updates don't seem to be pushed to PCs. So after trying to get my friend onto the world to show him the progress that I had made, I had noticed that my world was outdated. However, updating my game was the worst mistake I could have ever made, as when I opened the game after updating, all of my worlds had been deleted. Turns out, without telling anyone to back up their worlds, people were expected to anyways. So remember to back up your worlds no matter what when updating. So much time had been put into some of these worlds that I had made over 11 years that it left me feeling very sad, not wanting to complete the project. But I decided to anyway, seeing it not as a setback, but an opportunity to improve the game by a large amount. This time doing it on Java instead. Once again, I had built the first island by hand, taking a long time to complete. So much time in fact, I had decided to download Axiom to help speed things up. And let me tell you, it sure sped things up, being 10 times faster to make much bigger islands. It was definitely the right pick to choose to do it using this instead. So after building 5 islands of varying sizes, I had decided to turn my focus on making the hub, which I had already made some progress on so far, building up a research tree with item frames. However, this didn't feel right to me, being very janky. I thought, although it had been done in Bedrock due to the lack of tools, I could definitely make a map art to show all the progression throughout the game. So I quickly designed an overarching progression line to give the players a taster of what they will go through as they play this game, going from the Stone Age all the way up to oil rigs, leaving a little hint as to what Update 2 will bring. Along with this, I built a large map art showing what different research opportunities there were within the game, and how much they cost. Setting the basics you get for free in green, and adding arrows to show their dependencies, to try and make it as easy as possible to be able to figure out how to use it. I then decided to set my sights on the rulebook. Being the most important thing within the game, I had to make sure I got it right. I decided to add Scribble to help me with this, being a mod that allows you to do things such as change the colour of the words extremely easily, adding pages between other pages to make it easy to add on to what I've already typed for future updates, and even letting you choose what page you want to go to, so that they don't have to click 40 times just to figure out the price of something. Oh yeah, did I mention, this book has 41 pages. I took a long time working on this book to make sure every mechanic in the game is covered, and adding a table of contents at the beginning of the book so it is easy to type in the section you want and go straight there. These sections include abbreviations, a how to play section, all of the research on what they do, each class and their role within your army, the prices of each structure, and finally the credits. Typing all this up, I then moved on to what was possibly my favourite part of the game, the structures. You see, in the original, there were build examples. showing you how you could build the structures within the game if you are totally lost on how they may look. However, they are just that, examples. My favourite part about this game is while you can use these examples to build, the simplicity of the game allows you to have the freedom to build whatever you want, as long as it is consistent and the other players know what they mean. Some of my favourites I've seen from both myself in the build examples and others when playtesting it with a friend are the oil refinery, which is just an andesite wall, sheep and cows being buttons, the blast furnace being a regular blast furnace, my anti-tank defence, gates being regular gates, sheep farms being just sheep on leads, and carriages just being a minecart. This game allows you to have total freedom over it, letting you build however you want, and I would even recommend playing around with the rules and creating your own house rules when playing, as you can definitely have a lot of fun just playing around with it, and seeing what different strategies unfold when certain rules are changed. Speaking of which, there are lots of strategies that are built within the game to exploit, such as being able to turn forested land into plains when chopping down trees. While it may seem normal at first, plains can be travelled 2 times quicker than forested land, giving strategy to what you destroy to be able to move faster to attack your enemies, or slow your enemies down from strategical positions by having larger areas of trees unchopped. I designed this game with lots of different strategies in mind, and there will likely be some that I'd never thought of when coming up with the game, which you can always show in our public Discord server. Speaking of, if you want to download this map, you can do so for free by joining the Discord and downloading the CurseForge mod, which will have both the quality of life mods along with the map to play on. You can also show off your games and strategies in the server with a new section specifically dedicated to the game, where you can chat with others who enjoy it and get updates on how the game is being worked on and how long it will be before the next update to the game, which who knows, I may need some playtesters and might look in the Discord for anybody willing to help out, and possibly even contribute to the game by suggesting new features which give you a fancy role alongside being credited within the game. So, with all that being said, I really do hope you enjoy this game. Both me and my friends have put a lot of effort into making a fun game for everyone to play, and support goes further than you think. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.